And basically what the tip is whatever you do in this game, whether that's mining or farming or whatever else, stick to it, and stick to it until you are complete with it. Now, arguably, this might not be the most fun way to play the game, but we are here to talk about efficiency.
Now, what if I told you guys that I have been following this advice months before this video was even released? Yes, so I started farming and I started mining, and those are the two skills that I decided to basically take seriously on my profile. Mining, I went all the way from Heart of the Mountain Tier 6 to Advanced Drill. You guys already know that. You've probably watched that video. That's probably how you know my channel in the first place. And now, you're gonna watch me basically go from farming 42 all the way to farming 60. Now, this is not as big of a progression as the Heart of the Mountain Tier 6 to Advanced Drill was, because I'm already at late game farming with that farming 42. I already had Mossy Fermento recombobulated and all that, so all I needed to do was just get gemstone slots on it and get tier 3 hose and get all the 10 gold medals. And that took a long time, I'm not gonna lie. It took like 78 hours for me to finish the series, but it wasn't nearly as long as the mining series was, of course. However, you heard Candy Pat in that video. That has been the ongoing advice from billionaires and like endgame players for a long time now. Like, they just tell you to finish whatever grind you start until you make really good money from it. And that's basically the reason why I decided to max out my farming. So I wanted to get Garden 15 and farming 60 at the very least. Like, those are the basic grinds that need to be done in order for you to get as much farming fortune as you possibly can. I think I get like 1500 farming fortune, somewhere around there, from each crop, because I have tier 3 tools for them and I have all of like the enchants and the gemstone slots and all of that. Now, I just want to take you guys through a journey of me going through the grind and getting there, because this grind is actually a lot longer than I expected it to be. So if you guys didn't know, the amount of XP that you need to get from farming 50 to 60 is actually more than the amount of XP that you need to go from farming 1 to 50. Now, given the fact that you're not going to have the most efficient setup at the very beginning of the game, you could kind of say that, oh, well, it might take longer for you to get from farming 1 to 50, but they're pretty comparable in terms of how much time it takes. And you'll see that in this video. Like, it takes a very long time to level up once you hit farming 50. But yeah, this is just a process of me going from garden 11 and a half, I think, to garden 15, and then from farming 42 to farming 60. Of course, that's the whole point of the series. I named the series Road to Max Farming because I might revisit it again and, you know, go for max farming fortune this time. But like I said, that does require like hundreds of hours of farming and hundreds of millions of coins to do. So I would rather just post about the process of me getting farming 60 first, and then we'll revisit it for later grinds. But anyway, if this is your second or third time watching one of my videos and you've watched one of my videos before, then consider subscribing. It is free and it does help me out a lot in terms of making these videos. And I do have a lot of future plans for the channel as well. If you haven't checked that video out, I highly recommend checking it out. It's like 7 minutes. I basically tell you what I'm going to be posting about in the next few months. Watch that, and then if you're interested in any of those, then go ahead and subscribe, because it will notify you once I post a video. Without any further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right into the series. Okay, so the first episode I started, you guys might have seen the clip already in the past like few clips that I've shown. The goals were to get garden 12 and farming 45, which were pretty easy considering that I was already at garden 11.999 and I was at farming 42, so it was like 3 farming levels, and it was below farming 50, so it wasn't that much XP that was required for them. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get into the episode and see how I got that. Kind of a boost as far as that goes. These are the tools that I've been working with, so potato hoe, pumpkin dicer, the Newton Warts hoe. So these are all like tier 2 hoes. I don't have any tier 3 hoes. I think I will be upgrading them using the crops that I get instead of just buying them off a bazaar, just to make it a little more interesting. But yeah, I'm excited to start the new series and see where it goes. So let's go ahead and just jump right into grinding. Alright, so the timer is at 1 hour and 25 minutes. So that means almost an hour and 30 minutes to get to farming level 42.
Bruh.
We are at farming level 41.94. And by getting all of these visitors, I think I will be able to get farming level 42 pretty soon. So if I just go ahead and give this guy this, give Anita what she wants, and then give Fragilis what he wants. And we are at 99.7%, so let's go ahead and just buy all of the items that this one needs. 271 of these. There we go. And then Felix needs like 401 enchanted sugar. We'll just insta-buy it just like that. And then boom, there we go. We are farming level 42. Okay, wow, I was wrong. We were actually farming level 42 and we just hit farming 43 anyway. But yeah, there we go. So we are at farming level 43. It took an hour and a half exactly to get to farming level 43. And this is during Derpy, by the way. So I'm guessing it would take like more than 2 hours for people that are not doing this during Derpy to get from farming level 42 to 43. But yeah, let's go ahead and keep on grinding. I think that farming level 45 is a good goal to go for this episode because skills in general in Hypixel Skyblock do take exponentially longer to get as you go higher. So I think 45 would be a reasonable point to stop. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. We also got ourselves 2 fermento from this 1 hour and a half of farming, which is pretty reasonable, you know, not too lucky, not too unlucky. It's like the normal rates, I guess. And I've also have a 3 million coin profit from farming mushrooms with mossy fermento and rabbit pet, by the way. So I've used all of the money that I make from mushrooms to spend it on visitors, and I've made 3 million coins profit, so that's not bad at all. But yeah, I can't wait to get to farming 50 and actually farm for, you know, contests and gold medals. I've already gotten a gold medal as I was farming. There was mushroom contest going on, so I did get some gold medals over here. I have a silver medal here, I got a silver medal here, and then a gold medal here. So I think we will be able to get farming 60 pretty easily if Finnegan's around, and my 2 fermentos just filled, so that's nice. But yeah, if Finnegan's around, that would be very nice for getting gold medals and getting to farming 60. Well, yeah, we'll see how that goes once we get there. For now, let's just go ahead and keep on farming mushrooms. Alright, second update of the video. We are almost at farming level 44, which is pretty nice. It is currently January 1st of 2025. So first of all, I'd like to say Happy New Year to all of you. I wish you all a fantastic year. I know it's going to be huge for me. Hopefully you guys have some goals that you're going to smash this year as well. But anyway, I am 96% of the way there to farming level 44, which means that if I complete these visitors, I will get farming 44 pretty easily. And one more thing that I'm going to do after this is going to be getting myself rooted reforge on the bracelet, because that's something that I do not have right now, and it will be quite useful. I have rooted on everything else except for the bracelet, of course, so I need burrowing spores, so I'm just going to go ahead and just set up a buy order, or actually, I might just instant buy it. Yeah. Yep, I insta-bought it. I don't care. But yeah, so let's just go ahead and get farming 44, and then we'll reforge the bracelet. So let's do that. This, I already have this. Yep, there we go. 98% now. Enchanted melon blocks. We need 5 of them. Give him that. Oh, and I also got a bunch of items that sold on the bazaar. So I have 3 fermentos. That's almost 1 mil right there. And then I also have a bunch of mushrooms to sell. So that's 1.2 mil again. There we go. All right, we're back at 4.4 mil. So let's see what the other ones want. 4 enchanted baked potato. Okay, so this one should get us to farming level 44. Let's go ahead and get it. And boom, here we go. Farming level 44. We are almost there at the goal of farming 45. One thing that I do want to mention is that the timer is at around 2 hours and 55 minutes. But I think that's because when I was trying to get to farming 43, I was already 10% of the way there. And farming 44, we just started from 0, right? So that's probably the reason why. But yeah, that is pretty cool. It just took an hour and a half for both of them. We're going to take advantage of Derpy and just get ourselves farming level 45 before Derpy gets out of office, because election does end in about 16 hours. So we'll be doing a lot of farming there. Let's go ahead and just complete these visitors for now. We are 2% of the way there to farming 45. But yeah, that's as far as everything goes, I guess. I'm going to go ahead and just go to Hub and reforge my bracelet. So let's go ahead and take it out. And there we go. And boom. All right, rooted bracelet. So the only thing that I need now is going to be recoms on the equipment, and I also need a holly dye on my rancher boots because it doesn't look right now. It's like everything is green except for the boots. I'm going to use all of the contraband money on cosmetics, as I mentioned before, so I will be using some of this to buy myself a holly dye. Let's see how much holly dye is. I don't think it should be too expensive. Yeah, it's only like 17. That's not that big of a deal. All right, let's go ahead and buy it, and let's see if I can combine it in a normal anvil. I've actually never combined a dye, so I don't know if this is gonna work. Oh yeah, it does. It actually costs bits. That's interesting. So if you want to apply dyes, it's gonna cost you bits. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. And I think this looks better now, doesn't it? I'm hoping that it looks different to everyone else at least. But anyway, all right, there we go. But let's just go ahead and keep on farming for now. Alright, third and final update of the episode. So we are all the way to 99% done with farming level 44. We are almost at farming 45. So if I just go ahead and give these visitors what they came for, they will give me the farming XP required for farming 45, and that's going to be it for the episode. So let's go ahead and do that. And boom, farming level 45 right there. I'm going to go ahead and get as many of these as I can just to get extra XP, of course. And yeah, that's pretty cool. Not only that, but now the farming levels actually give you 1 million coins extra, which is a considerable amount. We'll see what we do next episode, but for this episode, I think one thing that we didn't have was the rooted reforge on the bracelet, which we got, and that's pretty nice. The only thing that I don't have right now is cultivating enchant on my fungi cutter, which I am going to get right now probably. Yep, it is 6 million coins. That's fine, I guess. Let's go ahead and just put it on there. And that's going to be it. Yeah. Now, in the beginning of the video, I did explain to you guys what I meant by getting max farming. Obviously, the ultimate goal is going to be getting max farming fortune. However, I am going to stop once I get farming 60 and focus on other aspects of the game. And then we'll come back to this series once I feel like it's the right time. But I'm just glad we did take advantage of the fact that Derpy is mayor right now. The election is ending in about like 12 hours. Also, one thing that I did forget to mention, the stopwatch is sitting at around 4 hours and 40 minutes. So instead of an hour and a half, it actually took an hour and 45 minutes for me to go from farming level 44 to 45. So it did take a little longer than 43 and 44, which makes sense, of course. Yeah, one thing that I did forget to mention is that I unlocked garden level 12. So that's pretty nice. We get 10% extra crop growth and 10 extra skyblock XP. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. Now for this next episode, I decided to up the stakes a little bit because I realized that I only did like 5 hours of grinding for episode 1. So I was like, you know what, might as well just go for the next garden level 13. That was one of the goals for this episode, and then the other goal was to get cultivating 8, which honestly, I should have put a better goal instead of cultivating 8. That was like way too easy to get. But then after that, I ended up also upgrading my armor a little bit, which you'll see. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the second episode. Of copper from doing all of these visitors, a copper that I'm probably going to go ahead and spend on something like a green thumb enchant or a dedication 1 enchant, because green thumb enchant is something that I will need in the future no matter what, and it does actually sell for quite a bit of money as well, so that's nice. But we'll see how it goes. I think I might be able to get all 64 of the green thumb enchants just from buying them in the Skymart shop using copper, of course. Oh wait, that's actually interesting. So coins per copper, it actually shows how much copper it gives per coin, and it's green thumb is actually the best one. So I might have to use green thumb for money, but we'll see how things go. The stopwatch is sitting at 4 hours and 41 minutes, as I mentioned in the last video. So we'll just go off from there and see how long it takes for us to get to Garden 13. And again, as I said, it doesn't matter how much XP I get from it. As far as I get to Garden 13, that's all I care about. Now we ended up last episode at 2% of the way there to farming 46. I am now at 4.5% because I just did some pests. But yeah, that's as far as that goes. I'm gonna just go ahead and spawn here. And by the way, if you guys are wondering what my yaw and what my, angle is or whatever, here it is. So you can just like take a look at the left side of the screen. I will probably zoom in for you guys so you can see it. But yeah, that is as far as that goes. I will go ahead and just get into farming. Alright, first update of the video. This is actually pretty insane because the timer is sitting at 7 hours and 40 minutes. That means 3 hours of farming have gone by since the last clip, so that is pretty insane. One thing that I do want to mention is the fact that backpack 14 is specified to farming items, and as you can see, I have quite a few fermentos to sell. So let's go ahead and sell those first before I do anything. And then I also got myself a burning spores, which is a very rare drop that you get from farming mushrooms, so that's pretty cool. And then I got all of these items from the visitors, the dung, biofuel, pet cake, whatever. So the things that I have to sell to auction house, I will just keep them here for now, but the rest of the items I can probably sell to bazaar pretty easily if I just set up a buy or sell order for this. And then the rest of them I just insta sell because I don't want to wait for the sell orders to fill. I don't really care. Let's go ahead and insta sell the burrowing spores and then the pet cake as well. I don't think I can insta sell. I just have to put on a sell order. Okay, that's fine. As for the mushrooms, we also have 2.3 million for the mushrooms. I also went ahead and reset my purse to where it was before. So in the last episode, we left off at around 2.5 million coins purse, and then I gained all of this while farming. So I was doing visitors and I was farming and doing pests, and that got me all the way to 12 million coins. Now, let's see what we need for the visitors right now. We need like 3 of these. And I'm also, by the way, I forgot to mention this. This is the reason why I'm doing the update anyway. I'm also almost at farming 46 and getting from farming 45 to 46 to 3 hours, which is pretty interesting because I actually get a feeling for how it's like now when therapy is not mare. Let's go ahead and see what the rest of the visitors want. 271 of these. Let's go ahead and buy that. 3 enchanting cookies, which I already have, it seems like, because I got the pests, and then Orengo has wheat, which I already have, and this guy needs 3 more enchanted baked potatoes. Let's go ahead and buy that. It's pretty easy. All right, there we go, and let's go ahead and just give it to all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And there we go. We are at farming level 46 officially. In terms of garden progression, we are 36% of the way there. We were at 20%. We're now at 36%. I've only progressed like 16%, which isn't great, obviously. So this is going to be a long episode for sure. But in terms of cultivating, I am at cultivating 7. So I'm pretty close to getting cultivating 8. Now, to be fair, there is like 3.2 million crops left to farm, but still. And another thing that I was thinking about is after getting cultivating 8 on this one, maybe I can start doing other crops just so that I can get like crop milestones and then use those for garden XP or even farming XP, you know? Like I'll have all of my crops are around like milestone 20, and the ones that I haven't even farmed manually are at like 15 or 16, so these will be pretty easy to level up. And they actually do give a decent amount of like garden XP. So I think that would be something that I'm going to do for the next episode though, as again, I do have cultivating 8 to go for on this fungi cutter. So I have to be farming mushrooms for quite a long time. But yeah, let's just go ahead and keep on grinding for now. We'll see how everything goes as far as garden and cultivating. Alright, there we go. We are at farming level 47. The timer is now sitting at 10 hours and like 7 minutes. So it did take a little less time to get to farming 47 than it did for 46. And the reason for that is the quality of the visitors. So as I said in the last clip, it took 3 hours to get from farming 45 to 46. But from 46 to 47, it actually took 2.5 hours, almost 2.5 hours, which means, again, it took less time to get to 47 than it did to get to 46. And 47 actually requires more XP, so it doesn't make sense, right? So the reason why that happened was because of the fact that the quality of visitors was just better. I got more legendary visitors here, and I also got the mythic visitor called Maeve, if I can find him. Yeah, it's right here. So he visited once and gave me like 100,000 farming XP, and that simply put me way ahead of where I was when I was trying to get farming 46, and that's why it took a little shorter amount of time. The amount of fermentos that we got is actually insane too. We've got like 8 fermentos right now. We can sell that for 2 million coins, which is amazing. And these are the items that I got from the visitors. Turbo wheat, I mean, I don't think that's really going to be that different if I insta sell it or just put up a sell order for it, but we're going to sell order it. And then we also got ourselves a flowering bouquet, so we're just going to sell that. And then what else do we have? Arachne fragment, of course. We dropped a slug pet from doing the pests, which was absolutely amazing. I'm probably going to add this to my pets menu because I don't have a slug right now. And then I also got all of these fine flowers, which I don't know what they do. And I read it. It says you get with like wheat fortune if you give them to Caroline. I think I'm going to get this whenever I feel like maxing out all of the fortune. For now, I'm just going to sell it for money, and then we'll see how much we get. I also have a bunch of money in mushrooms. I have like 3 million coins in mushrooms, so let's go ahead and sell that. We're at 24.4 million coins. I think this is a good time to actually go ahead and get myself a recombobulator as well as a couple of gemstones to unlock the gemstone slots. So I'll go over the gemstone gemstone slots first. Let's see, what do I need for it? All right, so 60 Peridot gemstones in total and 150,000 coins. I don't think 150,000 is going to be a problem. The 50 fine Peridots, that's a little more expensive, but I don't think that's going to be a problem either because we have 24 million coins again, so it's not that big of a deal for us. I also have a bunch of these that sold for 350,000 coins, another bookworm's favorite book that sold, and then all of these are also selling as well. I'm just going to reset this order just in case it's not the top order right now. But yeah, that is the plan right now, is to unlock the gemstone slots for this. I'm probably going to get flawless for it because I have the money for it. In terms of cultivating, we are almost done with cultivating 8. 1.5 million more crops and we'll get cultivating 8. One thing I do want to mention is my collection is also at a very interesting number. We're at 12 million collection, almost at 13 million mushroom collection, which is absolutely insane. So there's that, and then we also have our order that just filled. Let's go ahead and unlock the gemstone slots right now. There's 1 and there's 2. All right, cool. And then we are gonna just put it here and buy ourselves 2 flawless Peridot. There we go. I would get the perfects, but the perfects are pretty expensive, so we're just gonna deal with Peridot for now. And then what else do we have? We also have a recombobulator that we need to buy. So let's go ahead and do that. Recomb 1 and set up the buy order. Okay, so that should fill pretty easily. It's actually at 11 million coins. Normally it would be at 9 million coins, but it seems like it's a bit inflated right now. It's fine. I don't really mind. As a matter of fact, I don't really mind even insta buying it. So let's go ahead and do that instead of just waiting for it. So yeah, there's that. And let's see, there's a fungi cutter, there's the recombobulator. All right, the fungi cutter is now a legendary fungi cutter. There we go. Now another thing that we need for farming XP, and I saw this in one of the comments in the last video, is going to be the blessed fruit. So if I get the blessed fruit, that will give me the blessed reforge, which will add 5 extra farming wisdom to my farming tool. Buy price is at 900k, sell price is at 1.3 mil. I'm just going to insta buy it for 1.3 mil. I don't really care. So let's go ahead and just reforge it to blessed. I think if you hold this and then collect the visitors, the 5 extra wisdom does apply to the visitors as well, so that will be nice. Now one last thing that it's missing is going to be harvesting 6. So harvesting 6 is priced at 3 million coins. I'm going to insta buy that as well. Let's go ahead and just put it on there. All right, there we go. And that is as much fortune as we can get on this tool. Let's go ahead and see what my fortune is sitting at right now. I am sitting at 895 fortune right now, almost 900 fortune. And that is considering that I also have 108 mushroom fortune. And I'm also not using a fortune bit, I'm using rabbit, right? So that's pretty amazing. I also have 6,000 copper. Leave a comment down below if I should spend the copper on getting stuff for money, or should I just like Iron Man my way to getting full green thumb equipment, because that is a lot of copper that I have to spend if I have to like Iron Man my way to it. But I might do it just like I did with the mining series where I Iron Man my way to a 655. I might as well go ahead and Iron Man my way to a full green thumb equipment just to be able to sympathize with the Iron Man players that are watching these videos. You know what? It seems like green thumb does give the most coins per copper, so I'm just gonna buy the green thumbs anyway, and then we'll see if we should just sell them or we should keep them for later. For now, let's go ahead and buy 4 of them. There we go. And I'm going to keep these in my 14th backpack slot because that's where the farming stuff were, as I mentioned in the last video. Oh, another thing. In terms of goal of reaching garden level 13, we are 50% of the way there, so we still have a lot of grinding to do. But with all that said, let's just go ahead and just keep on farming for now. Alright, another update here. So we are all the way to farming level 48 almost. We're at 47.95. We're almost on our way to getting farming 50. I have a lot of fermentos. I have a bunch of things that I can give these visitors. And if I do, they will give me enough XP for farming 48. So let's go ahead and do that. 1, there's 2, there's 3, and boom, there we go. We are at farming level 48, which is pretty amazing. I'm gonna go ahead and complete these visitors as well. So in the last clip, the stopwatch was at what, 10 hours and like 10 minutes or something like that. So this means another like 2 hours and 40 minutes it took for me to go from farming 47 to 48, which again, as I said, it depends on the quality of visitors and how much XP they give you. So if they give you more XP, it takes a shorter amount of time. If they give you less XP, XP, then it takes longer. I still have yet to get a level where it takes like 3 hours. I feel like I just got really unlucky with that one level that took 3 hours. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and take out everything I have here. So a bunch of fermentos here, Jacob's ticket, a bunch of stuff that I got. I got another burrowing spores here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sell all of these just to see how much money I can get from them. There we go, 3 mil from Fermento if it sells, of course. And then burrowing spores is going to be what, 2.5 mil. Okay. There's that, and then we have, what else? A Jacob's ticket for some reason, and then a fine flower, which I will just insta-sell. I got a pest terminator book, which I'm probably going to sell, again, just because I don't want pests spawning more often. I don't like pests. I don't think they help too much in terms of farming XP either, so I'm just not going to use them. But yeah, everything that sells for a bit of money, I'm just going to collect and insta-sell to the bazaar. And then the fermentos, I might just like sell them to the NPC because they're at 250,000 coins, and that's like a little bit less than the sell price in the bazaar, so I'll just go ahead and do that. Alright, and we're left with 10 million coins, 10.7 million coins to be exact. And I also completed the goal of cultivating 8. So that goal is complete. In terms of the second goal though, which is getting garden 13, we're 67% of the way there, pretty close, but we're still having to do a lot more grinds. I might go ahead and get myself some other milestones as far as the garden goes. So let's go ahead and check. For example, let's see, sugarcane. I could probably get sugarcane 23 for some extra garden XP. I could very easily get potato 23, carrot 22 as well. And then the rest, I mean, I don't have a farm for cocoa beans, netherwort, or cactus. For everything else, I do have a farm for. Other than pumpkin, pumpkin is just one plot. We'll see how that goes, but I'm definitely going to go ahead and try to get myself the carrot and the potato milestones just for some extra garden XP and farming XP. All right, so let's go ahead and take out our tools for potato and carrot. So this is the potato hoe, and then this is the carrot hoe. I do have high cultivatings on these. I have cultivating 8 on the potato hoe and cultivating 7 on the carrot hoe. The only things that we need are going to be gem slots as well as 2 harvesting 6 books for these two. So let's go ahead and get those. All right, there we go with the gemstones, and I have the books right here as well. I'm left with barely 1 million coins. I think I'm just going to insta sell the burrowing spores just so I have enough money for the rest of the visitors that do end up spawning in after I start farming again. So let's go ahead and sell these, even though it's like less profit than, you know, setting up a sell order for them. So all I need now is just 2 more fine gemstones to put in them, or 4 more actually, because 2 for each, right? And then let's go ahead and do that. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Okay, so there we go. We have gemstones in them too. And then all we need now is harvesting 6. Boom. And boom. All right, there we go. So now we're ready to actually farm. Now after this, I spent the next 10 minutes farming potatoes. It only took me like 10 minutes to get to milestone 23 on potatoes. And then I started farming some carrots, and the carrot one took me like 20 minutes to get to carrot 22. But then I started farming sugarcane to get it to milestone 23, and that one was definitely not worth it. Now from the 2 potato and the carrot milestones, I got myself a total of 460 garden experience. For only 30 minutes, that is pretty good. However, for the sugarcane, I only got 230 garden XP, and that one took about an hour to complete. Now, in an hour, if I do my calculations correctly, I think that I can get more garden XP just farming mushrooms and doing visitors, because the visitors queue gets filled once every 20 minutes. And in an hour, that means it gets filled 3 times. That's 15 visitors. Even if I'm extremely unlucky and get like uncommon visitors every single time, that means I will get around like 225 garden XP. So it's not really that different than farming sugarcane and going for the milestone, except farming mushrooms, of course, I get more farming XP. So I did miss out on some farming XP by doing sugarcane, but that was just a test to see if milestones are actually worth it. I think milestones after milestone 20 or 21 are not worth it because they start to become a little difficult to get, especially when it starts to require more than 1 million crops to level up. So I would say anything below that, yeah, it's worth it for garden XP, but everything after milestone 20 is probably not worth it. The best way of getting milestones I found is just pests. Like doing pests gives you just a lot of milestones in general. I have never farmed netherwort on this garden ever, and my milestone is at 17 just from doing pests. So I would recommend for milestones just doing that and just farm mushrooms for XP. And that's what I should have done, but you know, I I wanted to test it out and see if it's worth it or not, which again, it was worth it for the potato and the carrot because I was already close to completing them, but for the sugarcane, it wasn't necessarily worth it. And once I was done with the sugarcane, the timer was sitting at 14 hours and 14 minutes. So right at 14 hours and 14 minutes is when I go back to farming mushrooms. All right, there we go. Perfect timing. Another update here. So we got mushroom crop milestone at 30. So that's pretty cool. And we got ourselves all the way to farming level 49 as well. So that is also pretty cool. I am now officially 4 million XP away from farming level 50. The timer is sitting at around 16 hours and 25 minutes. So that means it took us well over 3 hours to get farming level 49, and I'm getting a lot of bestiary milestones as well from doing pests, so that's pretty amazing. I also got a bunch of drops. Obviously, these are going to be the fermento drops, and let's see if my fermentos sold from before. So 3 of them sold at that price. I'm going to sell the rest of them to the NPC, so let's go ahead and do that. All right, there we go. And then I dropped 2 burrowing spores, which I might just insta-sell because, sell orders don't really fill on those. So let's go ahead and do that. Boom. All right, there we go. And then the other ones that fill, tasty cheese and the pet cake. And then I'll also sell my mushrooms that I have in my purse, or in my sacks, sorry. In terms of garden XP, which is our goal, we are 92.9% of the way there. So I am pretty much done with garden XP as well. I'm pretty sure if I wait for the visitors queue to be filled like a couple more times, I'll be done with garden 13 as well. I am sitting at a solid 18.5 million coins, which is absolutely amazing. One thing I realized as well is that my angle in terms of left and right needs to be at around 164 or negative 164. And then my up or down angle is supposed to be at 5.5. The yaw that I showed in the beginning of the video, that one's good for if you want to go to the right, you have to hold W and D at the same time just so you go faster. But with this one, with this yaw, you can just go left or right. You don't have to go forward and right. But yeah, let's go ahead and keep on farming for now. I will see you guys once I get myself garden level 13. Alright, here we go with the final update of the video. So, we have all 5 visitors here ready, and I have all of the items required for all of them. So, I'm just going to go ahead and start giving them what they need. I'm going to start with the legendary one. Let's go ahead and do it. There we go. And then this, and this. Alright, there we go. So, we are 70% of the way there to farming level 49, or I'm sorry, it's farming 50, and we are pretty much done with Garden 13. We just got Garden 13 right now with doing all of those visitors. So, the goals for this episode were get Cultivating 8, which we got. We're at 8 million crops farmed with the fungi cutter, and get Garden 13, which we're there right now. I'm going to go ahead and sell all of the mushrooms that I have in my sacks. That way we'll have 19.5 million coins. So yeah, there we go. That is pretty cool. And then I'm gonna probably go ahead and spend the 19 mil on flawless paradots for the armor. So let's go ahead and do that. We need 6 of them, and that's 15 mil. If I buy order it, how much would that be? What's the price difference? Let's see, 6 of them, and that's 12.5 mil. Okay, that is kind of a big difference. All right, I'll just put up buy order and we'll see if that fills. I think I'm going to continue doing mushrooms just to get enough farming XP for like farming 60. I'm pretty close to farming 50 right now. But yeah, we'll see next episode what we end up setting as our goals. But for now, my most important goal is getting myself all 5 of these flawless gemstones and putting them on my armor. So let's go ahead and wait it out, and I will be back once these are filled. Alright, we're back. Alright, so take a look. We got all of the flawless paradots, so I'm just going to go ahead and go to the Mines of Devon. I don't know why I warped to Hub. I'm going to go to Mines of Devon and put these on. Alright, let's go ahead and do that. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3, there's 4, and there's 5 and 6. Alright, there we go. So, a full fermento with full flawless. Now we're looking a lot better. I'm gonna check my fortune real quick. Just go to garden. Let's see. Farming fortune at 212. I don't think that's true.
Oh my
I don't know what's going on with my fortune. Alright, there we are. Let's check our fortune real quick. 956. Alright. Alright, mushroom fortune is at 110. So we are officially over 1060 farming fortune, which is really, really good, by the way. And I think if I can spend all of my copper, I think I can get myself more green thumb books, which, by the way, I should probably check out that backpack that I put my green thumb books in, because I have a bunch of fermentos in there that I need to sell as well. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and then the fourth one, will I get enough copper from this guy? No, probably not. We're just gonna add this to the 14th backpack and replace the books with the fermentos. All right, there we go. I will just go ahead and put up a sell order for all of these, as they are selling for 287,000 each. So that's 4.5 mil right there. So yeah, once this sells, I will be at around 12 million coins. Also, another thing I forgot to mention is that the stopwatch is sitting at around 18 hours and 27 minutes. So it took me quite a long time to record this video. I think the stopwatch was at 4 hours and 40 minutes when we started the video, and right now it's at 18 hours and 27 minutes. That means 14 hours is how long it took me to record the clips. Now, the goal for the next episode was to get Cultivating 9. It's a more insane goal than any of the goals that I've set so far, because it requires like 20 million crops, and I was at like 8 mil or something like that. But anyways, I knew that I had to get a lot of crops for Cultivating 9, which would give me a lot of coins. Therefore, I set another goal, which was to get Green Thumb 5 on at least one of the equipment pieces. I already had a bunch of books for that sitting in my 14th backpack, so it was just a matter of getting the rest of them, either with copper or with money. I have 12.5 million coins in the purse right now. I'm gonna go ahead and just use those 12 mil to get these visitors what they need, and then we'll go ahead and start the stopwatch and just keep farming mushrooms from there. So let's go ahead and get the items that they need for now. All right, there we go. We are 77% of the way there to farming 50. By the way, I have not gone for fortune at all. I have just been going for XP alone. Even though I haven't been going for fortune, I did do some upgrades that give extra fortune, but my main focus has been just XP. That's why I've been farming mushrooms so much. So I'll be really excited to go for fortune once we get there. But for now, I think I'm just going to go for XP. Enough XP for at least like farming 55. That's not for this episode though. Farming 55 is a milestone, and then farming 60 is another milestone. Now, I did end up getting another green thumb book because I had enough copper for it. As you can see, we have 8 green thumb books now. So we need 8 more green thumb books for green thumb 5. Now, another thing. If you take a look at the election room right now, my vote is on Finnegan, and that's simply because he has all 3 perks right now. I hope they elect him. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think either Diaz or Paul are going to end up getting elected. But he hasn't been elected in like 10 Skyblock years, aka 10 weeks in real life. So that'll be amazing. If he does end up getting elected, it will help us out quite a lot. So we will get 5 unique visitors and 20% more chance to spawn rare visitors. And we also get 10% extra copper, so it'll be easier to get those green thumb books. But without further ado, let's just go ahead and get to farming some mushrooms. Alright, so a very quick update here. The timer is sitting at 19 hours, so it's literally been like barely 30 minutes. I just thought this is an important update to miss. I just got farming 50, so GG's, there we go. And yeah, I'm just going to keep on farming, nothing else. I also got level 232, and yeah, that is pretty much it. I will just complete this one visitor right here and go back to mushroom farming. So let's go ahead and do that. And back to farming mushrooms it was. As you saw, I farmed for 3 hours and got myself farming 51, or at least enough XP for farming 51. Well, you'll see what I mean once you watch the clip. Alright, here we are, another update here. We're about to get farming 51. I have all the items ready for the visitors that are standing right here right now. So let's go ahead and do that and get ourselves farming 51. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there is 4. And there is 5. I'm at 99.5% of the way there. Apparently I need a little bit more. Okay, let's go ahead and get this one. Hopefully this one will get us to farming 51. And yes, in fact it does, but I don't have the farming cap unlocked, so it's just gonna sit at 100%. So this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go ahead and get myself enough XP for farming 60, and then we're gonna get the farming caps. Yeah, that doesn't age well. One thing that I'd like to mention though is the fact that I got myself a platinum medal while I was doing a mushroom contest. So if you take a look here, Jacob, you placed in the platinum bracket in the mushroom contest. This is with 962 farming fortune and like 130 mushroom fortune. But here's another thing. I also am using a rabbit pet. So even with the rabbit, I managed to get myself a platinum medal, and that is really, really good for me. I'm just going to go ahead and keep on farming. In terms of cultivating, we are not even close to cultivating 9. We're only 11 million crops. So that means we need another 9 million to farm. So yeah, it's going to be a long grind, but I'm going to do it. In terms of copper, I'm close to 3,000 copper right now. I will be able to get myself 2 more green thumb books once I complete another line of visitors. So that'll be pretty nice. That'll get us to like what, 10 green thumb books. I'll just wait until that actually happens, and then we'll see how many more we need for green thumb 5 equipment. I obviously have enough XP for farming 51, but in order to get enough for farming 60, I need at least another 51 million farming XP, which may or may not happen within a span of a couple episodes because that is a lot of grinding. We're also 20% of the way there to Garden 14, which is absolutely amazing. Remember, Garden 15 is max, so we're getting close to maxed out Garden as well. Oh yeah, another thing I forgot to mention. The stopwatch is sitting at 22 hours and 40 minutes. Last time we checked in, stopwatch was at 19 hours exactly. So that means it took 3 hours and 40 minutes for us to get to farming level 51. And that's with Maeve showing up like 2 more times. As you can see, I have 3 times visited. 1 time was the last episode, and the 2 more times happened like pretty much back to back. So even with Maeve showing up twice and giving me 100,000 farming XP each time, which by the way, 100,000 is probably boosted with all of my farming wisdom, right? So it's probably more like 200 and something thousand. Even with that, it took me almost 4 hours to get 1 farming level. This is what I'm talking about when I say that higher levels in terms of skills are exponentially harder to get. But yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and just keep on farming mushrooms for now, and then we will see you guys whenever I get enough XP for farming 52, I guess. Alright, here we are with another update here. So, this time, we are farming 51. I'm not farming 51, or I'm sorry, farming 52. We are farming 52. Not exactly farming 52, but I have enough XP to get to farming 52. As you can see, I have like 9 million XP. Requires 4.3 mil for farming 51, and then 4.6 mil for farming 52. It might be easier for me if I just got the gold medals and got myself the levels instead of just getting the XP for it. And I did get at least 1 gold medal. I have a bunch of gold medals actually to claim. Like all of the mushroom ones, I think are either silver or gold. Like this one. Okay, so this one isn't that much, but if you take a look at this one, it's silver. This one is gold. This one is platinum. This one is silver. This one is gold again. Like, you know, I have a bunch of gold in mushrooms, so I'm just going to bulk claim this. Wow, that is a lot of books and things. Okay, alright, so let's just go ahead and sell the mushroom or the turbo mushrooms, whatever. I'm actually glad that I have to do an update now because I was getting kind of tired of storing all of these fermentos. I have like no space for them anymore. Like, I don't know where to put them. They're in my inventory as well as in my 14th backpack. There's a bunch of them. So we're just going to put up a sell order for all of those. Let's see. So 3 million here. I have a cooldown for Bazaar. All right, that's cool. Yeah. I guess I'll just go ahead and buy myself a bunch of green thumb books because that's another goal of this episode, right? So let's go ahead and do that. Let's get green thumb. 1, 2, and 3 and 4. We needed 8. I have 4 right now, so I have 4 more to go. Now I just need to replace all of the green thumb books in my inventory with fermentos, and then I will sell them to the bazaar. Of course, after the cooldown has been lifted. There we go. So there's that, and then I have like 17 million coins in mushrooms, which is absolutely insane. I'm just gonna sell that. There we go. I believe we need the Jacob's tickets for Anita's shop because we need to use the farming fortune, like the extra farming fortune that we get from this. I'm just going to get 1 gold medal for the farming level. So here we are, farming 51, and we also need 52. I don't know if we have another one. Okay, yeah. So the gold medals for the farming levels need to be in different collections. So you can't just get 10 gold medals on mushrooms and then use all of those for the farming cap to increase. You have to get a gold in basically every crop. So that's probably why that's not working. But I'm going to go ahead and get this. Another one, and then another one. I don't have enough. Okay. I had a bunch more to collect from Jacob. I did not realize that I didn't collect all of them. So let's just go ahead and put up sell orders for the rest of them. Let's see. Okay, so as I'm selling all of these items, I'd like to mention that I didn't sell any of the items when I got farming 50 or when I got farming 51. So this is a total of the amount of items that I got from getting farming 50, farming 51, and getting farming 52. Now, obviously for farming 50, it was only like 20 or 30% of it because I was already 70% of the way there. So that one doesn't really count. It's mostly just farming 51 and farming 52. But yeah, I'll just let you guys watch the rest of the clip. I don't know what the carnival tickets are for. I don't know how I even got that because I didn't even do carnival. But anyway, let's go ahead and get another farming fortune for this. Yeah, there we go. Okay. There's another 10 Skyblock XP right there. I might go ahead and sell the Jacob's tickets, or I might keep them actually. Nah, I'm gonna keep them because we're gonna need it for upgrading tools and upgrading other things in Anita's shop. We're now sitting at 44.4 million coins, which is absolutely nuts. Oh yeah, in terms of cultivating, we are also at 14 million crops, so we need like 6 million more crops, and then hopefully we'll be done with that one as well. And hopefully by that time, I will be able to get myself 4 more green thumb books, so both of the goals of the episode will be done simultaneously. But yeah, I'm just gonna probably go ahead and keep on farming. Oh, also on garden progression, I'm sitting at 37.8%, so not that much increase since last time, like 17%. Yeah, it's getting like really grindy at these levels. It's a bit ridiculous that I'm just getting the XP and not the level. But anyways, let's just go ahead and keep on farming for now. We will see if we can get cultivating 9 before we get to farming 53. Yeah, maybe in my dreams, or enough XP for farming 53. Sorry. Let's go ahead and keep on farming. Alright, so here we are with another update here, the second to last update, hopefully. I have enough XP for farming 53 now. If you take a look here, I need like 4.9 million for farming 53 and 4.6 million for farming 52. We got the 4.6 million in the last clip, but we also have enough for farming 53, so the 4.9 million is going to be unlocked as well once I give Anita another gold medal from another collection. But that's not going to happen in this episode because we're going to be farming mushrooms for cultivating 9, of course, which, by the way, we are at 17 million crops collected with the fungi cutter. So I'm only like 3 million away, less than 3 million away from getting cultivating 9, which is absolutely amazing. I also have enough copper to buy like 2 more green thumb books, so let's go ahead and do that. Green thumb, there's 1 and there's 2. Okay, so now I need basically 2 more books and I'm done with that goal of the episode of getting 1 green thumb 5 equipment. And then I have all of this fermento that I need to sell, so I'm actually glad that I had to do an update. And that is, what, 21 fermentos? That is insane. Alright, let's go ahead and sell that. 5.4 mil right there. I'm also sitting at 64 million coins even right now as we speak. I got myself 2 burrowing spores. I'm going to put up sell orders for those. Hopefully they sell. It sells for like a total of 3 million coins there. Once everything sells, I'll be at over 70 million coins, which is absolutely insane. Now another thing, Finnegan is mayor right now, so the next bit of grinding that I have to do to get cultivating 9 will be actually pretty fun because I get to actually get myself all of the visitors that spawn in when Finnegan is mayor, like the ones that show up only when he's mayor. So we got the rhino, that's the most important one I think because it's a mythic one. I think I already got one showed up, the pest wrangler or whatever it's called. We got that one, but we haven't had the uncommon one, which is kind of weird. The legendary one's supposed to be more rare than the uncommon, but we got that one, but not the uncommon. Here we go again with farming more mushrooms, I guess. So we're just gonna go ahead and keep on farming until it's completely done. But anyway, let's go ahead and keep on grinding for now. All right, here we are with another update. So this was supposed to be my final update, but I think I have another update to go as well. So we just got ourselves cultivating 9, as you can see here in the chat. So we are done with that goal for the episode. We're at 20,744 collection on the fungi cutter, of course. Timer is at a day, 9 hours, and 45 minutes. 33 hours basically. So the timer is at a total of 33 hours and 45 minutes. Is absolutely insane. And the coins, as you can see in my purse, I have almost 90 million coins, which also is absolutely insane. That's probably where the thumbnail of the video is going to come from. The only thing that I haven't acquired just yet is going to be the last book that's required for Green Thumb 5. If you take a look here, I have all of these fermentos and the burrowing spore, of course, as I have in every single update. So we're going to go ahead and get ourselves the Green Thumb 1 again. Let's see how many we'll have if I put it in the backpack. So as you can see, I have 15 of them. We need 16 for Green Thumb 5. So I need like one more Green Thumb 1 book, and then we'll be done with the episode. So I'm just going to go ahead and do these visitors. We're also 303% of the way there to farming 51 or 52. So we have enough XP for almost farming 54. We obviously have enough XP for farming 52 and 53, but for 54, I think I need like a dozen more percentage. It's at 303%. I think it's supposed to be at somewhere around like 312 or 13% or something like that. But anyways, I'm just going to go ahead and keep on farming mushrooms. I'm going to put up a sell order for all of these fermentos as well, and the burrowing spores, of course. And then, yeah, let's go ahead and keep on farming mushrooms. We'll see what we'll end up with at the end of the video. Hopefully 90 something million coins and another Green Thumb book or a Green Thumb 5. Alright, here we are with the final update of the video. So we got enough copper for another Green Thumb book. Let's go ahead and get that. And as I mentioned before, we did end up at exactly 90 million coins. I also got all of these fermentos to sell, obviously, just like I do every single time. Let's go ahead and put up a sell order for them. I don't know what happened there. I misclicked or something. But anyway, I might as well go ahead and sell these to the NPC because the price isn't that different compared to the Bazaar sell price. So let's just go ahead and do that. Boom, boom, boom. All right, 94.6 million coins now. That is absolutely insane, and I'm going to go ahead and sell the fine flour that I just got. Now what I need to do is basically go to my 14th backpack, get all of the books, and combine them to make a Green Thumb 5, and then we will combine the Green Thumb 5 with an equipment piece. Alright, there is the Green Thumb 5 right there, 105 million coins if I wanted to buy it from the bazaar, but I didn't have to. It was just copper that I needed to get, so let's go ahead and take out an equipment piece. Let's just take out, I don't know, the necklace. And let's go ahead and put on the Green Thumb enchant. We need 250 XP levels, which I have. That's absolutely fine. All right, there we go. Green Thumb 5. Now, another thing that I want to do for next episode is to get myself enough plots to build the super farm or the mega farm, whatever you want to call it. So I need some compost bundles. Let's see how many it takes actually. Hold on. Can I put up a buy order for this? No, it doesn't, Phil. Okay, let's just go ahead and insta buy like 4 of them. See how much that gets us. That's 12 million coins gone. All right, so there's 1. There's 2. And then I need to buy another one for the next plot to be unlocked. There we go. And then we need 8 for this. I'm guessing we need 16 for the next one we unlock. So we unlock this one, it's 8, and then this one is going to cost 16. So, well, that was wrong. It's going to cost a total of 24 of them. I don't know if I have enough money for that. Let's see. So, compost bundle, 24 of them. That is 77 mil. That is exactly how much I have. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go and unlock this. And also unlock this one. It only required 10. Okay, so I guess I just sell these compost bundles because I bought too many. But I think this should be enough for us to make a mega farm. So 5 plots unlocked, all in the same row, and then another 5 right next to it. So yeah, once we clean up all those plots, I can make a mega farm. But that's for next episode. For this episode, though, that's gonna be pretty much it. So an interesting turn of events. Instead of spending money on the green thumb books, I ended up spending money on the plots that I needed for a super farm. Basically, the next episode is me building a super farm and then just going ahead and getting a bunch of other goals, like getting farming 55, getting garden 14, maxing out like tools and stuff like that. So yeah, there's a lot of goals that I end up setting for the next episode. You guys notice a trend at this point. Like every episode, I just keep pushing boundaries as far as how much I can grind and how many hours I spend on the game for one video, basically. And the 4th episode is no different. Like it is literally the same thing. I think it's probably the video where I spend the most time on, because I think even on the finale, I didn't spend as much time as I did on this video. But anyways, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Now, last episode we ended off at 34 hours, and the reason why the timer is sitting at 37 hours right now is because I farmed a little bit for the century event and got myself a gold medal for carrots. So today I'm going to be using that gold medal to get another farming cap if I have enough Jacob stickers for it. And yeah, I do. Okay, let's go ahead and give Anita the gold medal and the Jacob stickers that she needs for the farming cap. There we go, farming 52, that's very nice. And I'm level 238, close to 240 now. But anyway, that's going to be the goals for the episode. I will see you guys in a bit. So for the next 3 hours, I spent my time farming potatoes, carrots, and wheat. And I got myself the carrot hoe to an epic tier. So I got 10 in the encounter on that hoe. And also got myself a really good amount of carrots, wheat, and potatoes in general. As you can see here in my sacks, I have 9,400 enchanted wheat, which is pretty close to the amount that I need to upgrade the wheat hoe to its next tier. I think I need like 10,240 in order to get 64 enchanted hay bales and upgrade it to its next tier, like craft the next tier, whatever. So I could just buy out the rest of the items that I needed for that. But the main reason why I made this update in the first place was because I got garden level 14, which was one of the goals of the episode, so that one is now out of the way. Now the 3 goals that I have left are farming 55, building the super farm, and maxing out my tools. Now, speaking of farming 55, I got enough XP for farming 55. I needed the progress to farming 53 to be at 318%, and I was at 322%, so I was pretty much there. I just needed to get the gold medals. The gold medals, which I got one of when I was farming. So I got one, I think either carrot or potato gold medal, and ended up using that on the Anita shop to get farming 53. So now I needed 2 more gold medals in 2 collections that are not carrot, potato, or mushrooms. Now, at first, I thought that would be sugarcane and melon, but I ended up being wrong. I guess you just have to keep watching the video to find out why. Alright, so here we are with another update. So if you take a look here in the Jacob contest, I actually got the gold in the wheat collection, so that's actually pretty nice. But that's not the point that I'm going to mention in this little update of mine. What I'm going to mention is the fact that doing melon and going for a gold medal in a melon contest was the worst idea I've ever had in this series. As a matter of fact, I think this actually might be one of the last gold medals that we get, because I got 1.1 million crops collected. That placed me in the bronze bracket. The bronze! Not even the silver, the bronze. Okay, so I am far off of getting gold on this collection. Clearly, I'm doing something wrong with my farm. I don't know what kind of steroid cycle people are running on their gardens, but they are getting 1.9, almost 2 million crops over a contest. That's insane, all right? But anyway, I'm going to collect my medals that I got. First of all, I got a medal here. I didn't get a medal there, actually. It was just Jacob's ticket, but there's a gold medal here. And then there is a silver medal, which is really just painful to get. on this one, and then I'm gonna just sell all of the turbo melon and turbo wheat books that I got. So let's go ahead and do that first, and then what I can do is actually give some Jacob's tickets to Anita so that I can get myself another farming cap level. There we go. All right, farming 54. So we are now farming 54 and 100% of the way there to farming 55. So yeah, we do have enough XP. So there's nothing to worry about there. And yeah, I haven't done any visitors so far. I just been doing like crops in general. I also got myself this thing. So enchanted hay bales. This is something that we need to upgrade the wheat hoe into the epic tier. Let's go ahead and do that. I think we need it on these 4 sides, and then the Jacob's tickets, of course. There we go. Yeah, again, there it is. A tier 3 Euclid's wheat hoe. Now it's just a matter of getting it to 10 mil counter, which I don't think I'm going to do right now. My main goal is to craft the tier 3 hoes rather than get them to 10 mil counter. But if they do end up getting to 10 mil counter, that's actually also really nice. Okay, so if you guys have watched any of my videos, you would know that I don't really back away from grinds, so I actually do end up getting all of them to 10 mil counter, as well as crafting them to a tier 3. But anyway, scratch the idea of doing melons. Again, like I said, I'm doing something extremely wrong. So let's just go ahead and put the melon dicer back in the chest, and then I'll just do sugarcane, you know? Like, I'll just do some sugarcane contests and see if I can get a gold in those, because that should be a lot easier than getting a melon gold medal. And if it's not, then I guess I gotta just build the super farm or the mega farm or whatever it's called. But that's as far as the goals go for the video. Let's just go ahead and keep on farming for now. I think the next upgrade for me is gonna be getting enough enchanted carrots and enchanted potatoes to upgrade these tier 2 hoes into tier 3s. But I think I'm going to be able to do that just by selling some items. Like, for example, I don't need the seeds that I collected from all of those wheat farming. So I'm just going to sell everything here. That is 8.7 million coins. If I sold those to the NPC, I would have probably gotten a little bit more. But, you know, I don't mind. It is what it is. Let's just go ahead and see how much more do we have that we can sell. Okay, so I have a bit of melon that I can sell. That's not bad. Yeah. So long story short, I sell everything farming related and get myself to 22 mil purse. So let's just go ahead and keep on farming and move on to the next update. Alright, here we are with the second to last update. I don't know about the second to last update. There might be like 2 more updates after this, but anyway. So the goals were to get enough materials for the potato hoe as well as the carrot hoe to upgrade them to its maximum tiers, right? Well, I got those using the money that I got from selling them to the bazaar. So if you take a look here at my 5th ender chest, crafting all of these enchanted golden carrots would have taken absolutely forever. So I just decided to buy them, and yeah, there they are. And I also bought all the Jacob's tickets because gathering those would also have taken forever. So let's go ahead and upgrade the carrot hoe first, and then we will upgrade whatever else we have left. Alright, there it is. Boom. Alright, so the maximum tier of carrot hoe. GG's on that. Yeah, we have baked potatoes here, enchanted baked potatoes, and the Jacob's tickets for those. So let's go ahead and do that as well. Alright, there it is. Maximum tier on the potato hoe. GG's on that as well. Alright, now that they are pretty much maxed out, the only thing that I have left is just getting a recombobulator and like perfect gems on there, which, you know, that's for later on in the series. But for now, we're pretty much done in terms of potato and carrot. The most important thing was this. So I placed in the top 4% of farmers in sugarcane. I got platinum even though I have a tier 2 cane hoe. So you can just imagine how much more I'll be getting if I recombobulate this and get it to its maximum tier. So let's go ahead and collect that, and that is going to be farming 55 actually. Let's just do that. I don't have enough tickets, it seems. Boom, and boom. Alright, farming 55. G freaking G's on that. And I also leveled up to 240, so now the prefix is actually changed. I'm also probably going to change the emblem of the profile to the farming emblem. There we go. Alright, I got the farming XP now. Okay, as I said, the only thing I have left is to upgrade this to its maximum tier and upgrade the wheat hoe to its maximum tier, and then we're going to build the super farm, and that's going to be it for the episode. So let's just go ahead and get to farming. Okay, guys, there is clearly a problem here. First of all, I'm gonna go over the good news first. So if you take a look here in Ender Chest page 4, or I'm sorry, page 5, I've gathered enough materials for the sugarcane hoe to be upgraded to its maximum tier. And if you take a look at the Ender Chest page 4, the cane hoe is actually an epic tier right now because I've already gotten to 10 mil counter, so that's actually pretty cool. I'm going to upgrade it now to its maximum tier. Let's go ahead and do that. So that's the good news. I got this completely maxed out. We are done with sugarcane. So the only thing I have left is the wheat hoe. So the wheat hoe needs to be at 10 mil counter for it to be completely maxed out in terms of tiers. And it is very slow to get it to that number of 10 million counter. So if you take a look at this farm right here, this underneath all of this, there's a wheat farm, right? Now, if I go through the wheat farm all the way back and then come back here, it only gets me 250,000 on the counter. That means that I'm going to have to do it at least 15 or 16 more times in order to be able to get it to 10 mil. And that is going to take a very long time because every time I, go all the way back, it takes at least like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. So the grind is actually going to be longer than expected, but I set out the goals already for the episode, and you know the role. Like when I set out the goals, I just got to do it, right? And the timer, as you can see up here, is sitting at a day and 23 hours. We're almost approaching 2 days, which is just insane. 2 days of straight farming just for content. So I would really appreciate it if you guys could please subscribe to the channel. It would help out a lot. But anyway, I'm just going to keep on farming wheat. And once it's at 10 mil counter, I'll be back and we'll be building the mega farm. Or maybe I'll spawn in with the mega farm built. I don't know. We'll see. Oh yeah, also, I've also gotten a lot of crops while farming. I'm probably just going to sell those because, we're not really using them for any other upgrades. We're done upgrading things using crops. So I think that it would be nice to just sell them and use the money for something else, like, I don't know, getting more fortune on this maybe getting gemstone slots unlocked because, again, the grind is actually crazy for the wheat. So I'm left with 37 million coins. That's pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. I'm left with 19 million coins, which isn't bad at all. But yeah, I'm just gonna let this flawless sit here, and then we have 8 more of this. Go ahead and unlock the third one. There we go. That should be good. I'm gonna go back to the garden and see how much wheat fortune I have now. Okay, 1432 now. But yeah, let's just go ahead and keep on farming. Alright, here we are with the final update of the video. It is currently 1:30 a.m. That's why I am not talking as loudly as I usually am. But let's take a look at the wheat hoe, which is currently at a legendary tier because I finally got it to 10 million counter. As you can tell on the top right side of the screen, I can tell you guys that this grind took longer than any grind that we've ever done on the channel so far. This one took 20 hours to complete. We were at 36 hours when we started. We're now close to 56 hours, which is just crazy to even think about. I also got this atmospheric filter, which is a rare accessory apparently. You gain 25 fortune in spring, 20 farming wisdom in summer, and then 15% more pest chance in autumn, and 5% more copper in winter from visitors. Also, I haven't been doing much visitors, so I haven't even been focusing on farming XP. Even though I haven't been doing that, I still got 130% complete to farming 56. So that's pretty good. I'm gonna just go ahead and put the atmospheric filter in my accessory bag before I forget. Let's go ahead and do that. Boom. All right. Now let's just keep on selling the items that I didn't sell. So 80.8 million coins. Again, that's a lot of money. So we're gonna go ahead and take out all of the hoes and just turn them into mythic hoes. And yeah, I spend the next few minutes doing just that. So I basically end up upgrading all of the tools to their maximum tiers and getting recombobulators on them and, getting blessed reforged on them, as well as unlocking all the gemstone slots and putting fine gems in them. So at this point, I was done with 3 out of the 4 goals of the episode, which were to get farming 55, get garden 14, get maxed out tools, as well as building the super farm. So building the super farm was the only thing that I had left at this point of the video. Alright, so I'm just going to clear out this plot. Psych. Just kidding. I've already built the farm. Alright, so we have built the super farm. As you can see, I've added some lane switches as well on the wheat farm, on the cocoa beans farm, and on the carrot and the potato farms. Now, the only thing that I have left now is to add lane switches on all of the other farms. For reference point, this took around like 6 to 7 hours. I just didn't add it to the timer because I thought, the whole point of having a timer on is to see how long it takes for me to get from late game farming into in game farming. And building a farm isn't really making progress in terms of farming. Like, it doesn't give any farming XP, right? So that's why I just thought there wouldn't be a point to add the amount of time that it took to build the farm to the timer. But anyway, this video in general has been saturated with a lot more content than all of the previous episodes of this series. I have gotten myself enough XP for farming 55, actually got farming 55, like got all of the gold medals that were required for it. I also maxed out all of the tools that I used to get those gold medals. So if I got like a carrot gold medal, I maxed out the carrot hoe. Now, I got Blessed Reforge on them because it gives more fortune than Bountiful. And, Bountiful is probably better for money, but, we'll get into that later. If I wanted to use Bountiful, I'll probably switch that. But another thing, the wheat, as you guys saw in the last clip, it took a while for me to get. So I also got Cultivating 9 on this. So that's actually crazy. And then if that wasn't enough, I also got Garden level 14, almost halfway to 15, which is just crazy to even think about because Garden 15 is max garden. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna farm anymore because I literally look like farming tool at the moment because of how much I farmed. Well, guess what? I'm about to look even more like a farming tool because for the finale, I actually did an entire day of farming. Well, now you might be thinking, 1 day of farming, that's not even that much. You don't understand. I'm talking an entire day. That is 24 hours. I started the episode at 2 days and 5 hours on the timer, and I ended the episode at 3 days and 5 hours on the timer. So let's go ahead and see what I spent those 24 hours on. We have built the super farm last episode, and I have actually added lane switches for the mushroom farm, which if you have watched that video of super farm 7.0, you would know that this is almost an impossible task, and it was like extremely difficult to get it right because in the video where it shows how to build that, there's a lot of cuts and it's just like so difficult to get. But anyways, we finally got it, and it's right here. It's ready to go. For the nether wart farm, which is something else I'm going to focus on, that is another goal for this episode, is to get the Newton nether wart hoe completely maxed out, because we got every other hoe maxed out except for the Newton nether wart hoe. Obviously, the pumpkin dicer will also be maxed out, but that's just crafting it. It's not that big of a deal. But with the Newton nether warts hoe, we need to get the counter to 10 mil as well as upgrade the hoe using crafts. But anyway, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to build some lane switches for the nether wart farm here, and then we will get to farming. Enough jibber jabber, I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. So that's what I did. I added some lane switches and started farming some nether warts in order to get a gold medal and also level up the nether warts hoe a little bit. And I farmed for 3 hours until I realized this. I don't have any problems with the farm so far. The only problem I had was the fact that I farmed 6 million nether warts without putting cultivating on the hoe. That's painful, alright? That is very painful, but there is some good news. I got a very rare item, which I'll go over in a second, but for now, I'm going to go ahead and sell some of the items that I got from pests, like sugarcane, cactus, things like that. I'm going to go ahead and sell those because we're going to need the money to buy the cultivating book and put it on the hoe finally. So yeah, 5.8 mil gone, and then we also need harvesting 6 on this, if I can find it. That one's only 1 mil. I'm gonna put up a buy order to see if it fills. I don't have enough coins for that, it seems like. But anyway, there's also dedication 3 that we need on this hoe. I might be able to get that just from copper. Beth showed up. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, she's offering 105,000 farming XP. That's nice. But anyway, I'm gonna go over to the desk and go to Skymart, Farming Essentials, and get 4 Dedication 1 books. Let's go ahead and do that. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright. So, There we go. Okay, so dedication 3 on that. The main thing right now is to put the cultivating on this, so let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so cultivating 1. I think by the time I'm done with this, I will be cultivating 8. The good news that I mentioned in the beginning of the update, though, is the fact that I got an overgrown grass from one of the visitors. I got it from Fragilis. You guys can probably get it from literally anyone else. It has a 0.1% chance of dropping from any of the visitors, and that means 1 in 1,000 chance, which is about where I'm at. I have like 1,000 visitors right now. Yeah, 1,061. So it was about time to drop an overgrown grass, and I finally got it. Probably gonna sell that and like insta sell it and just use the money on getting myself the fermento artifact. I'm also gonna sell all these fermentos to the NPC or the bazaar, whichever one, gives me more money. Okay, so 40 mil from overgrown grass. If I search for fermento artifact, hopefully it is not too expensive. I'm gonna just go ahead and skip this part of the video for you guys because I ended up buying a fermento artifact when I already had one. So yeah, let's go ahead and skip this. Pumpkins, because I think we are going to need the polished pumpkins for the pumpkin dicer 3.0, but we'll see how that goes. I have 44 million coins to spend right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and spend it on something because I just have to spend my money somehow. And so that's what I did. I decided to spend some of the money on some mutant nether warts to get the tier 3 nether wart hoe, and that's actually going to get it to epic. I needed to get it to 10 million counter to get it to legendary, and I did that. I basically got the gold medal for the nether warts and got it to 10 million counter, so it was at the maximum tier of legendary. And then I also got a bunch of polished pumpkins, 48 polished pumpkins to be exact, to get myself a pumpkin dice at 3.0 for the pumpkin gold medal whenever I go for it, right? The rest of the money, I also spent the rest of the money on a perfect peridot, and I also had another perfect peridot sitting in my ender chest, so I used the two and got myself a fermento helmet with both gemstone slots filled with perfect gems. So my fermento helmet was pretty much maxed out except for maybe Pest Terminator 6. And then after this, the next gold medal was cocoa beans. With cocoa beans, I did make a mistake, which I'll just let you guys watch. Now, I was farming them with this. Now, this has Cultivating 6, Sunder 6, Turbo Cocoa 5. It's missing Dedication 3, like gemstone slots, and a recombobulator. But can you guys guess what else it's missing? Well, the thing that it was missing is replenish. Yeah, that's right. So I didn't put replenish on the cocoa chopper. That means the whole farm is gone. Like I have to replant the whole thing if I want to farm it again. That's the bad news. The good news, though, is that I don't have to touch cocoa beans until I go for milestone 46. And the reason for that is because I got a diamond in cocoa beans contest. Now, Brandon, again, I used not even like a halfway maxed out cocoa chopper, and I got diamond. I even went beyond diamond and placed in the top 1% of people going for cocoa beans. I think cocoa beans is just something that people don't go for, so it's like very easy to get gold in or to get even diamond in. So yeah, cocoa beans ended up being a really easy gold medal to get, really easy diamond medal to get actually. As you guys saw, I didn't have any upgrades in the cocoa chopper either, so it was actually pretty surprising that I got diamond. Not having a replenish sucked obviously, but again, like I got a diamond in it. I don't have to touch it until I go for milestone 46, so I guess it's fine. As you guys can see on the stopwatch, 4 hours has passed and I did not spend 4 hours just farming cocoa beans. Most of the time was spent on farming mushrooms and getting enough XP for the next level, so that when I get the farming cap from Anita, I instantly level up on my farming level. I just didn't want to show it in the video because I thought it would be boring. It's just me farming mushrooms with a rabbit pet, and I would go through the mushroom farm 1.5 times because that's how long it would take for all the 5 visitors to spawn in. Then I would take care of the visitors and then I would rinse and repeat. And I missed out on a lot of money just using the rabbit pet and not the mushroom cow pet. Cocoa beans contest got me to farming 57, and for getting farming 58 I was going to go for cactus. Cactus, melons, and pumpkins were the only contests that I didn't have a gold medal in. Cactus also ended up being really easy, by the way. I did not even have lane switches on my cactus farm. When I got to the end of the lane, I would just fall off, catch myself, fly to the next lane, and that will be my lane switch for the cactus farm. And I used a very basic, like, cactus knife. I did not have any upgrades on it whatsoever. Like I had at least a Sunder 6 on the cocoa beans chopper. But on the cactus knife, I did not even have harvesting on it. It was just like efficiency 5 cactus knife. And I somehow got a platinum medal in that contest as well. So yeah, that one was also pretty easy, which left me with a pumpkin gold medal and a melon gold medal to get. Okay, so here we are with another update. And I know I said I will update you guys whenever I get enough XP for farming 60. Here we are. I have like 273.8% farming XP for farming 58, which means that I have enough for farming 58 and farming 59 and like half of farming 60. So I need like 40 percentage points more in order to get this to farming 60. But anyways, I didn't even have any fortune enchants or fortune boosts on this tool and I got a gold medal. So I'm assuming that that's going to be the case for pumpkin as well, because pumpkin isn't a very popular contest, I would say. It used to make a lot of money. I don't know about now though. But anyways, I'm going to try to get a pumpkin contest done as well. And yeah, that is another gold medal that we got. And I can get farming 58 if I just grab my Jacob's tickets. So yeah, let's do that. Boom. All right, farming 58 and level 244. That is very nice. And then farming 59 again. I need to get pumpkin. But anyhow, there's another thing that I wanted to mention. I got these 4 recombobulators for these 4 equipment pieces that I need to recombobulate. So let's go ahead and do that before I forget. All right, there we go. They are all recombobulated now. Let's go back to the garden. Oh, also another thing. So the mushroom cow pet, remember how I said the mushroom cow needs to be at level 100? Well, it is at level 100 now. So I would say it's a good time to buy a green bandana for that thing. And then let's just put it on here. Yes, confirm. Boom. All right. So now this thing has the green bandana, and considering that I'm already max garden, this is going to give me the maximum amount of farming fortune needed. So 170 farming fortune, and then I get 0.7 farming fortune per every 20 strength. So I'm actually also going to use this thing and just empty my vacuum bag to get 200 extra farming fortune for the melon contest. I might actually do it for the pumpkin contest as well, just because I really want to make sure that I get gold and not have to do it again. So let's just go ahead and get that. All right, so there we go. So in exchange for 40 pests, I've given you 200 farming fortune for the next 30 minutes. All right, so let's go ahead and get a gold in the pumpkin contest, and I will be back. Okay, there it is. We are pretty much done with pumpkin. So as you can see, you placed in the gold bracket in pumpkins. So it turns out I actually did need the extra perk from the NPC Philip to empty my pests and get 200 extra farming fortune, because I barely even got the gold. You know, at first I wasn't even getting the gold because my speed on my boots were set to 232, which is what you need for mushrooms, and I changed those back to 255, which is what you need for pumpkins or melons. But anyway, I got the gold. That's all that matters. I'm going to stop yapping. And I'm going to use the gold medal to get another farming cap level. Jacob's tickets are all done. So let's get the gold medal. And boom, there we go, farming 59. Now we are 65% of the way there to farming 60, which is pretty nice. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and add lane switches to the melon farm. I might go ahead and upgrade my melon dicer just a little bit more. Maybe get flawless gems on there, and then get dedication 3 as well as turbo melon 5. And then we'll be back. Okay, so I just wanted to update you guys on the contest right now. I'm actually doing the contest, and there's 2 minutes left, and I'm in the diamond bracket. So how I did this was I had a bunch of earthworms that spawned in my garden. So I had like 6 earthworms that spawned in. I collected those, and then I collected the 6 earthworms that were in my pest traps. So that's 12 already. And then I started farming. As soon as I started farming, I just got to pray to RNGesus drop. So that's probably why I'm in diamond bracket right now. Oh, and in the middle of it, like, pests obviously spawned in as I was farming, right? All of those pests also happened to be earthworms, so that also helped a lot. And as you can see, I'm at 2.4 million crops collected, and I'm 250k over platinum. I don't think I'm going to lose diamond within 1 minute. So yeah, even if I stop farming right now, I'll probably be fine. But anyhow, I actually ended up getting diamond in the contest that I thought would be the most difficult, which is kind of ironic. But anyways, once this is done, I'm probably going to go ahead and just grind the XP that's needed, because as you can see on the bottom of the screen, I'm only 69% of the way there to farming 60. So we'll be farming more mushrooms after this to get more XP, and then we'll be pretty much done with the series. So yeah, let's just go ahead and finish this up. 4, 3, 2, and 1, and 0. Okay, it is complete. So I have gotten every single crop completely maxed out. As you can see, you placed in the diamond bracket in the melon contest. Absolutely amazing. I also had 1652 farming fortune, technically 1452 because 200 of it was from this guy named Philip. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and collect my diamond medal, and there we go. And yeah, so all I need now is 500 Jacob's tickets, which I'm just going to insta-buy that because I'm very impatient right now. All right, there we go. And boom! Okay, so another farming cap level. And yeah, once I'm done with the XP, we are done with the series. So let's go ahead and farm some mushrooms. And yeah, so at this point, I had all of the goals of the episode pretty much done. I had all the gold medals. I had the Newton Nether Wart Sword to its maximum tier. I had Garden 15. And all I had left was just to get enough XP for farming 60. I even upgraded my Mushroom Cow pet to level 100, which was another goal that I ended up setting in the middle of the episode. But anyways, now it was just a matter of farming just 2 or 3 more hours of mushrooms to get enough XP for farming 60. So I did that until I got this. 4 enchanted cookies. Boom. And let's do it. There we go. All right. Farming 60 complete. I'm gonna go ahead and and yeah, as you guys saw, I basically got farming 60. So the reason why I wasn't too excited about it in the clip is because I've been farming for so many hours at that point. I was so tired. I was just happy that it's done. But I actually got farming 60. I got maxed farming in Hypixel Skyblock, which is a crazy feat. Now at this point, I could enable the emblem that's for like farming 60, and that would fit my name a lot better because FarmerWarden. I think that from now on, I'm going to focus on the warden part of my name a little bit more. I've neglected combat for the longest time, so I think I'm going to just use mining and farming just to make money and use the money on some combat related tasks like doing dungeons, doing slayers, and things like that. So yeah, that was my journey on going from farming 42 to farming 60 and from garden 11 to garden 15. So if you guys are still watching this video and you're not subscribed, then I don't know what you're doing, because clearly you enjoyed the video and you stayed until like the very end. So might as well go ahead and subscribe, because we're on the road to 10K and we just hit 9K actually. But thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one. Peace.